You are energy. How to activate your quantum potential. Most people fundamentally misunderstand what they truly are. They identify with their physical body, their thoughts, their emotions, their life story, believing these temporary aspects constitute their entire being. They chase after external solutions, techniques, and formulas to change their reality, unaware that they themselves are the very energy that creates everything they experience. If you've been approaching manifestation from a completely backward perspective, what if, instead of being a physical being trying to manipulate energy, you are energy expressing itself temporarily in physical form? This isn't some poetic metaphor or spiritual platitude. It's the fundamental truth about your existence that quantum physics has been revealing for decades. You're not failing at manifestation because you lack technique. You're disconnected from what you actually are. At the core of everything in existence is what quantum physicists call the quantum field, an infinite matrix of pure potential energy where all possibilities exist simultaneously. This isn't some distant force separate from you. It's what you are made of at your most fundamental level. When scientists look at the subatomic particles that make up your physical body, they find that these particles are actually waves of energy that only appear as solid matter when observed. You are quite literally a localized expression of this infinite field. Most people approach reality creation through effort, pushing, striving, and manipulating the external world. But energy doesn't respond to effort. It responds to resonance. When you recognize yourself as energy, you stop trying to acquire power and start expressing the power you already are. This fundamental shift changes everything. Manifestation isn't about doing, it's about being what you truly are. Pure creative energy. Quantum physics has revealed the observer effect. Particles exist as waves of potential until observed, at which point they collapse into definite positions. This same principle applies to your reality creation. When you observe your life through the awareness of being energy, those waves collapse into experiences that match your energetic state. But when you observe from the illusion of being separate from energy, you collapse those waves into experiences of limitation. The difference isn't in what's possible, it's in who you understand yourself to be. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you experienced moments where you felt deeply connected to your energetic nature? And if you're finding value in these insights, consider subscribing to join our community of conscious energy beings who are remembering their true quantum nature and creating reality from that awareness. Think of your relationship with energy like learning to swim. Most people spend their lives thrashing at the water's surface, desperately trying not to drown. They study different swimming techniques and try to master the perfect stroke, all while fighting against the water. Here's the impossibility. You cannot swim effectively by seeing yourself as separate from the water and trying to dominate it. The elegant solution is simple. When you recognize that your body is mostly water, similar in composition to what you're swimming in, you realize you can float naturally. You belong in water because you are water. That's what quantum manifestation is. Not struggling to manipulate energy as something outside yourself, but recognizing that you are the very energy you're trying to work with. You don't need to become energy. You need to remember you already are energy and always have been. Neville Goddard understood this principle when he stated that consciousness is the one and only reality, recognizing that the awareness behind your physical form is the true creative force. Joe Dispenza takes this further by explaining how energy is information that vibrates and teaching that when you change your energy, you change the information field around you. Abraham Hicks refers to this same principle as you are source energy in physical form, acknowledging that the creative force of the universe isn't separate from you, but is what you fundamentally are. These teachers, using different terminology and coming from different backgrounds, are all pointing to the same fundamental truth. You are not a physical being trying to create with energy. You are energy temporarily expressing as physical form. This recognition is the foundation of all successful manifestation. Why do so many people struggle with this simple truth? Because the ego is terrified of dissolving into energy. The ego's entire existence depends on maintaining the illusion of separation, that you are this physical body, this personality, this collection of thoughts and feelings, separate from everything else. Our culture has conditioned us to strengthen this illusion through constant identification with our physical appearance, our possessions, our social status, and our life story. We've been taught that we are limited beings who must acquire, achieve, and accumulate to become more. But here's the paradox. The more you identify with the limited aspects of yourself, the more you energetically affirm separation from your true nature as infinite energy. By constantly reinforcing who you think you are, you broadcast the frequency of limitation, and the quantum field, which responds to your energetic state, simply returns more experiences that match that frequency of separation from your true energetic nature. The version of you that is fully awakened to your energetic nature isn't some future evolution you need to achieve. It's who you already are, beneath the layers of conditioning and false identification. Quantum physics describes this through superposition, the principle that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. Your unlimited energetic self exists in superposition with your conditioned self, along with countless other possibilities. Your task isn't to create a new self through force or effort. It's to collapse into awareness of your true energetic nature that has always existed. You're not trying to become something new. You're allowing your true nature to emerge from beneath the layers of forgetting. This shift from becoming to remembering, from creating to recognizing, transforms manifestation from exhausting struggle into joyful expression of what you already are. Most people approach manifestation mechanically. They create vision boards, recite affirmations, perform rituals, all while maintaining their identification with being a limited physical being. These practices aren't inherently wrong, but they often become empty gestures, disconnected from any real shift in identity. If you're affirming abundance, while still identifying as a separate being who lacks resources, you're sending mixed signals to the field. If you're visualizing your desired reality, while believing you're just a physical body, trying to manipulate external circumstances, you're creating energetic interference. This is why so many people say, "I tried manifestation techniques, but they don't work." There's a profound difference between using energy techniques and recognizing yourself as energy. Affirmations without identity shift are just empty words. Visualization without energetic alignment is just daydreaming. The science behind your energetic nature is more substantial than most realize. Quantum physics has shown that at the subatomic level, you're made of the same energy that comprises everything in existence. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains that every thought produces an electrical signal in the brain, and every feeling produces a magnetic field through the heart. Together, they create your electromagnetic signature, the unique frequency you broadcast to the quantum field. This isn't metaphysical speculation. It's based on measurable electromagnetic fields produced by your brain and heart. Your thoughts and feelings aren't just subjective experiences. They're actual energy with specific frequencies that interact with the field around you. This is why the quantum field doesn't respond to your wishes or desires, or even your words. It responds to your electromagnetic signature, your energetic state. The field doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are vibrationally broadcasting. Let's use a concrete example: health and vitality. Many people try to manifest improved health while still identifying primarily as a physical body that can break down and is vulnerable to disease. They try various healing modalities, take supplements, follow strict diets, all the right actions, but approach health from the perspective of fighting against illness. This creates a disconnect between their desire for vitality and their energetic relationship with their body. To manifest vibrant health, you must recognize yourself as the vital energy that animates your physical form. When someone aligned with their energetic nature addresses health concerns, they do so from a place of returning to balance rather than fighting disease. They recognize that health is their natural state as energy beings. This energetic alignment is what allows manifestation of health to flow unimpeded. Your identity as energy is intimately connected to neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. When you consistently practice recognizing and embodying your energetic nature, you're actually rewiring your brain to match that reality. Through mental rehearsal, vividly imagining experiences with all your senses while generating the corresponding emotions of being pure creative energy, you create new neural pathways that support your true identity. Research in neuroplasticity shows that the brain doesn't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual one. This is how you can literally rewire your neural networks to support your natural state as energy. When done correctly, your body begins to align with your energetic nature so completely that it becomes your default operating system, producing corresponding biochemical changes that align your physical state with your energetic awareness. Manifestation is not about asking the universe for favors or trying to bend reality to your will. It's not about manipulating energy as something outside yourself. Instead, it's about recognizing that you are the very energy that constitutes everything. The universe isn't some external entity granting wishes to those who know the right words. It's an extension of your own energetic being. This reframe changes everything. You stop asking, "How can I get what I want?" and start asking, "How can I be the energetic frequency of what I desire?" The focus shifts from external acquisition to internal alignment, from doing to being. This is why the concept of resonance is so much more useful than effort when discussing manifestation. You're not trying to reach something outside yourself. You're harmonizing with potentials that already exist within the energy field that you are. Let me explain quantum superposition in simple terms. Imagine that every possible version of you exists simultaneously in a state of potential energy. The version where you're fully aligned with your true nature, where manifestation flows effortlessly, where you create consciously. It already exists as a potential energy state. These possibilities aren't distant futures waiting to be created. They're present potentials waiting to be collapsed into experience through your focused awareness of being energy. In quantum mechanics, it's the act of observation that causes wave functions to collapse into particles with definite properties. Similarly, it's your consistent recognition of yourself as energy, coupled with the corresponding emotional state that collapses potential realities into your lived experience. This isn't a metaphor. It's a description of how reality functions at its most fundamental level. Your quality of attention, where you place it and how you charge it emotionally, determines which potential energy state becomes your actual experience. One of the biggest obstacles to effective reality creation is the lack of coherence between the brain and heart, between your thoughts and feelings. Most people live with mental chaos and emotional turbulence. Their thoughts pull in one direction, while their feelings pull in another. They think about what they want while feeling something entirely different. This creates contradictory energy frequencies that cancel each other out. HeartMath Institute research shows that when the heart and brain enter a state of coherence, when they produce harmonious, synchronized rhythms, the body's systems function optimally, and our electromagnetic field becomes more powerful and organized. This coherence is what allows clear communication with the quantum field. Mixed energetic signals create confused results. Clear, coherent energetic signals create clear manifestations. Most people never achieve their desires because they're broadcasting static rather than a clear frequency. Your emotional state produces specific biochemicals that affect every cell in your body. When you feel joy, your brain releases dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. When you feel love, you produce oxytocin. These aren't just subjective experiences. They're actual chemical messengers that change your physical state and, by extension, your electromagnetic signature. Negative emotions like fear and anxiety produce stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which create an entirely different physical and energetic state. This biochemistry affects how you perceive reality and how you interact with the quantum field. Your emotional state becomes your point of attraction because it determines your overall energetic frequency. This is why trying to manifest from a place of fear or desperation rarely works. The biochemistry of those states creates an electromagnetic signature that attracts more experiences that match that frequency. One of the greatest challenges in manifesting as energy is maintaining consistent alignment with this awareness. Most people catch glimpses of their true energetic nature, moments of profound connection, flow states, peak experiences, only to snap back to their habitual identification with limitation. It's like briefly seeing your reflection in a clear pond, only to have the water ripple and distort the image again. The constant shifting between states creates confusion in the field and delays manifestation. This is where practice becomes essential. Just as you wouldn't expect to master any skill without dedicated practice, you shouldn't expect to maintain perfect alignment with your energetic nature without developing that capacity. Energetic consistency doesn't mean never experiencing doubt. It means returning to your true identity more quickly each time you forget. The field responds not to momentary states, but to your dominant frequency over time. When your awareness stabilizes in recognition of your energetic nature, reality begins responding in remarkable ways. Synchronicities increase. You notice meaningful coincidences that seem orchestrated. You receive intuitive nudges that lead you to exactly what you need. Opportunities appear that you couldn't have logically orchestrated. People who can help you seem to enter your life at precisely the right moment. Ideas and solutions come to you with surprising clarity. These aren't magical occurrences. They're the natural reorganization of the field in response to your stabilized energetic frequency. The quantum field is constantly responding to your state of being, arranging circumstances and events that match your dominant vibration. This responsiveness has always been happening. You're just now consciously participating in the process rather than creating by default. At this point, you've transitioned from thinking positively to energetic authorship. You've crossed the bridge from identifying as a physical being to recognizing yourself as energy. You're no longer just imagining what could be. You're living from what already is at the core of your being. This shift is subtle but profound. Your perception of reality fundamentally changes because you're tuning into different aspects of the quantum field. Possibilities that you would have previously overlooked now become apparent because they match your new frequency. It's not that the external world is necessarily changing overnight, though it can. It's that your perception and interaction with reality are transformed. You begin experiencing the version of reality that matches who you truly are rather than who you've been conditioned to believe you are. This is the moment when manifestation shifts from something you do to something you naturally express as energy. Let's be honest, this is where most people get stuck. They intellectually understand the concepts we've discussed, but they struggle with the actual embodiment of their energetic nature, not because they don't believe it's possible, but because they don't know how to bridge the gap between thinking about being energy and actually experiencing themselves as pure creative energy. There's a profound difference between thinking about your energetic nature and feeling it coursing through you, between contemplating your unlimited potential and embodying it completely, between visualizing manifestation and experiencing yourself as the source of creation. The mind can understand concepts, but manifestation happens through the entire being, mind, body, emotions, and energy. This is why people can read dozens of books on manifestation and still struggle to create real change. The missing piece isn't more information, it's embodied recognition, the full-body, multi-dimensional experience of being the energy you've always been. To fully align with your natural state as energy, you need to access high-frequency emotional states consistently. Research in neuroscience shows that certain emotional states produce gamma-wave coherence in the brain, the fastest brainwave frequency associated with peak performance, heightened awareness, and integration of multiple brain functions. When your brain and heart achieve this coherent gamma state, your nervous system becomes highly receptive to new patterns. Old neural pathways, the physical basis of your limited identity, can be more easily rewired. Your body becomes more responsive to your conscious intentions rather than your unconscious programming. This state of coherence is what spiritual traditions have called enlightenment, flow state, or being in the zone. It's a neurophysiological condition where manifestation becomes effortless because your entire system is unified in its recognition of itself as energy rather than fragmented into conflicting beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of creating. You've probably felt that your manifestations take too long, that the gap between setting an intention and seeing results seems insurmountable at times. You may have wondered if you're doing something wrong, if perhaps you're not meant to have what you desire, or if manifestation only works for certain people. I want you to know that you've always been much closer than you think. The gap has never been between you and what you desire. It's been between your conditioned identity and your true energetic nature. You are not broken. You are not behind. You don't lack the ability to manifest. You've simply forgotten what you truly are. The power to create has always been within you. You've just been accessing it in ways that create resistance rather than flow. The journey of manifestation isn't about becoming something you're not. It's about remembering something you've always been, pure creative energy expressing in physical form. Let this be the moment when you stop trying to become energy and start remembering that you are energy. The version of you that effortlessly creates reality already exists. You don't need to create it, you need to embody it. Imagine stepping fully into that version of yourself right now, not as a future possibility, but as your present reality. Feel the shift in your posture, your breathing, your facial expression. Notice how different thoughts become available to this energetic version of you. Experience how this version of you perceives the same circumstances you're currently facing. This isn't pretending, it's accessing a quantum potential that has always been your true nature. This moment of conscious embodiment is a quantum event, a point where you can jump timelines by shifting your dominant frequency. Your power isn't in what you do, it's in who you are being as you do it. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to type 7 to 77 in the comments below. This number sequence represents divine alignment and perfect timing with your energetic nature. It's a vibrational code that signals your readiness to shift from seeking to being, from chasing to allowing. When you comment with this number, you're not just engaging with a video, you're declaring your alignment with the frequency of your true energetic self. And as our community grows, this collective intention amplifies the field for everyone. There's power in numbers, not just metaphorically but energetically. Your comment becomes part of a collective frequency that supports everyone who encounters it. It's a small action that creates ripples in the quantum field, affecting possibilities far beyond what you might imagine. There is nothing to wait for. All versions of reality already exist in the quantum field. The version where you're fully aligned with your energetic nature isn't a future possibility. It's a present potential existing alongside countless others. Manifestation isn't something you create through force or strategy. It's something you tune into through recognition of what you already are. Think of parallel timelines or vibrationally adjacent worlds. Your consciousness is constantly shifting between these potentials based on your dominant frequency. When you change your state of being through recognition of yourself as energy, you naturally shift into the timeline that matches that state. This isn't magical thinking. It's how reality functions at the quantum level. Your consciousness is the tuning mechanism that determines which potential reality becomes your experienced reality. You cannot fake this process. You cannot pretend to be energy while identifying with limitation. You cannot affirm your energetic nature while embodying separation. The quantum field doesn't respond to your words or even your conscious intentions. It responds to your actual frequency, the sum total of your conscious and unconscious patterns. This is why surface-level practices often fail to produce significant results. The quantum field isn't fooled by ritualistic behavior that isn't accompanied by genuine recognition of your energetic nature. Your power lies not in what you say or do, but in the truth of who you are beneath all conditioning. This is both challenging and liberating. Challenging because it requires genuine inner transformation, and liberating because it means you don't have to perfect your external actions. You only need to remember your true nature as energy, and appropriate action will follow naturally. I invite you to make this more than just a video you watched. Make it a portal of remembrance that you stepped through. Let this be a marker in your journey, where you shifted from seeking energy to recognizing you are energy. You are not alone in this journey. We are a field, a wave, a movement of consciousness remembering together. The very fact that you were drawn to this message is evidence that you're already aligned with its frequency. Remember that manifestation isn't something you learn. It's something you remember. It's your natural state of being to create reality through your consciousness. You are not becoming powerful. You already are power itself. You are not learning to create, you're remembering that you've been creating all along. The only question is whether you'll create consciously or by default. If you found value in this message, please share it with others who might benefit, subscribe to join our community, and most importantly, begin living as the energetic being you've always been beneath the forgetting.